Hello, Linda from Barlates Body Blitz and cute little Minnie in her box bed. Today we're doing another walk and talk. We're going to be using some light hand weights to engage our arms. Nothing crazy, I'm just using half a kilo, which is about a pound. So we will be talking the entire time during this workout. If you're not a fan of talking workouts, then please head on over to my channel and choose one that doesn't have walk and talk in the title. We will be doing 60-second intervals per exercise again today, but because I'll be chatting, sometimes I might go over, sometimes I might go under, sometimes I might make mistakes, so please bear with me. The main point is that we keep moving and that we have fun. I've got my step monitor on so that we can see how many steps we do in approximately 20 minutes. Just resetting that now, and pick up your weights. We're going to get started with walking in place. So just walk in place, pump those arms, pick up those knees, nice tall chest. And as I always say, if you prefer to walk around the room, do that. And any exercise you don't like today, feel free to just walk in place. If you don't want to use your weights, do it without, totally fine. We want to try and be as energetic as possible. The music is kind of medium to fast paced today, so we should definitely be able to get in a good 2,000 steps. So keep those knees up high, pumping those arms, especially if you've got a wrist monitor. And today I want to talk to you a little bit more, once again, about emotions and how we definitely do play a part in choosing how our day goes, or even how our year goes, or how our lives go. And that we have a lot more power over emotions in general than you might think. We're going to go step touch next. Step touch with double bicep curl. It's like a hammer curl. Up and down, up and down. So I want to start by setting the premise that certain emotions make you feel good and other emotions make you feel bad, right? Certain emotions like love, joy, gratitude, they can make you feel really happy, make you feel warm and fuzzy and set a great tone for your day. And other emotions like anger, like shame, like guilt, like frustration, they can do the opposite. They can make you feel rotten, they can make you feel all tight in the chest, and they can set a really negative tone for the day. So with that premise in place, I guess we could argue that what you look at or listen to first thing in the morning definitely could, let's go wide, out to the side laterals and 2 steps across, could impact the way your day goes. For example, if something happens in the morning that makes you feel really good, you might get an email or a phone call or a text message from a friend saying something nice, or your child might give you a big hug and a kiss, or you might have some fun with your pet and they make you smile. You might listen to a fun song on the radio and dance around your kitchen, whatever it is. It's quite easy to feel in an elevated, lifted mood when you get up in the morning. And if you manage to keep that going throughout the day, you have a bit of a spring in your step, you can actually be a little bit more bulletproof throughout the day, even if things happen that aren't that positive. But in the same way, if we start our day with something more negative, like for example, let's go forward and back, straight arms, forward and back tap with one leg. Now this is going to add up fast on the opposite leg, so we're going to switch it at 30 seconds. So stay kind of almost bent legged in that opposite leg, and we're not just swinging the arms, we're raising, and then at the back I want you to squeeze your triceps. A few more seconds and then we're changing to the other leg, feeling that burn in that supporting leg. So other side. Tummies are in. Try and use your core to help you stabilize here. Forward and back. So if we start our day, for example, scrolling social media or listening to the news, and there's some terrible headline that kind of sparks our anxiety or makes us angry, which, by the way, social media and mainstream news are definitely designed, let's go side steps, with overhead punches. are designed to get you to spark those negative emotions, because it has been proven that it will cause more engagement from the viewer if they're in a negative state of mind than if they're in a positive state of mind. So keep that in mind when you choose to watch news, and maybe subscribe to social media channels that don't give you the best kind of content or the most uplifting content. So if you start your day with that, then you're already in this kind of elevated emotional state in a negative sense, and that can cause you then to feel stress, anxiety, and be in that almost that fight or flight mode right from the get-go, right from the beginning of your day. And then you might be a little bit more on edge. Let's go side raises with palms to the back, tapping out to the side. Then you might just be a little bit on edge. And when things come up in your day-to-day life, maybe your boss is a little bit rough with you, maybe the lady where you're buying your lunch is rude, maybe someone pushes in line. All of those little things are just adding on top of that state, of that kind of slightly negative, slightly anxious, slightly fight or flight, stress state that you're already in. So you can see that the way we start our day can actually affect the whole remainder of the day. And if you think about each day adding up to months, to years, you can have chronic stress throughout your entire life if you choose to start your day in a negative way every single day. Now let's go to the other side by palms up in front this time. So what does chronic stress actually produce? Well, they have found nowadays that chronic stress causes dis-ease. It causes your body to constantly be in fight or flight, which is not a place where it can heal or relax. So even with sleep, sometimes people that are under that state of chronic stress, they end up having insomnia, they might have migraines, they might have irritable bowel syndrome, they might have arthritis even, autoimmune disease. It can come out in so many different ways, and this is now medically proven, as well as obviously the mental health issues that can arise from being in a constant state of stress. And of course, this is not the only contributor. Food is also a big contributor. Let's go side to side. How about we slightly hinge forward, do tricep kickbacks, 2 steps across. Hinging from the hips, flat back, tummies in. So there are many other environmental toxins, relational issues. There's so many issues that cause disease. So I'm not saying this is the only one, but I'm saying that this is definitely something that contributes to it. So what about the opposite then? What about if you chose every single day to start your day with something positive? Maybe a list of things you're grateful for. Maybe a small meditation, a short meditation. Maybe exercise, which boosts your immune system. Maybe a breathing exercise, like Wim Hof breathing. Maybe an ice bath. There are so many things that you can do that set the frame. Let's go up, punch, and down. And at the bottom there, squeeze your tricep again, only in a more upright position. There are so many things which can set you up for having a positive day, and you have the power to choose to do those things. So I want to show you that you have the power. It is not everyone else who is responsible, or circumstances who are responsible, or which are responsible for your tone of the day. You can choose what you give your attention to, and you can slowly, with time, increase the amount of positive things you give your attention to, which will then crowd out the negative things. So rather than saying, okay, I'm going to go on a big cleanse and I'm not going to watch any social media, I'm not going to listen to any news, I'm not going to talk to my friends who are always grumpy. Let's go pull behind. So row behind and butt kick. You can't do these kind of massive life changes and expect them to last. It is really just adding in one small good habit that is setting you on the course towards a more positive future. And this is where I want to talk about compassion. Because these elevated emotions I'm talking about that set you up for a healthier you, because they actually promote healing in the body. They put your body into this state of being in a relaxed state where your body can heal itself. It can kind of let its guard down a bit because you're happy, you're in that parasympathetic nervous system state. And then everything can just function how it's meant to. Because we were never meant to live in this highly stressed environment. Let's go figure 8 arms. We were never meant to live in this highly stressed environment where we're bombarded with not only our own negative circumstances that happen, but also the entire world. By turning on our phone in the morning, by turning on the TV, by listening to the radio. We were not designed for that. We were not designed to cope with that. So in order to be able to cope in this environment, we need to do a lot more than our forefathers did to counteract the stress, okay? So that's where your empowerment comes in, to make choices that will help you to counteract the stress and not allow all of the stuff that we're bombarded with 24/7 to overwhelm you, so that you can be happier in yourself and then just be happier. Let's go across and across punch, down and up, and then just be a happier person for others to be around too, right? And a healthier person. So, compassion is one of these emotions which can put you in a parasympathetic nervous system state, which basically just means in a more relaxed state. Because when have you ever felt that heart compassion, or even something like love or joy, and also felt stressed at the same time? It doesn't happen, right? You're actually either stressed, which is your automatic, your sympathetic nervous system, or you're happy and you're present and you're filled with joy, which is your parasympathetic nervous system. They can't coexist together. So the good news is that you can put yourself in, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then push in front, 2, 3, 4. The good news is that you can put yourself in those nervous system states. You have control over your nervous system. If you have control over what you're thinking, you can change the way your body responds, which is an amazing thing because it gives you the power back. Doesn't mean that you are like a leaf that's kind of flying around in the wind. You have the power to choose how your day goes. And at any time during the day, if something negative happens, you don't have to let that take control of your entire nervous system and your emotions and ruin your day. You don't have to do that because you have the ability to, in that moment, decide to choose different emotions, to choose to stop. Let's just march in place. To stop there and then, take some time out, take some deep breaths, reframe the way the situation just happened in a way that helps you to feel more calm about it, and then to continue your day from that point on, choosing something more positive to focus on, distracting yourself every time those negative thoughts come, changing your nervous system by doing deep breathing, changing your nervous system by jogging around on the spot and with your arms up in the air for a few minutes, putting on your favorite song. You've got power to do that. Just try it. I promise you, it gets easier and easier. When I first started doing this, I also thought this is too hard because all of those triggers, all of those negative emotions, they're almost like they take a hold of you and they want you to go through the familiar paths that you have always gone through. those familiar paths. Let's go side to side with heel taps and V arms, punching up. Your body has automatically responded for so many years to negative circumstances in a particular way, probably a way that was programmed into you from childhood as a coping mechanism to deal with whatever was going on at home. And you never stopped it in its tracks. You just let it go every time. And then afterwards you look at the situation and you think, why was I so out of control? Why did I, go so mental about this or that when clearly it wasn't that big a deal? It's because you weren't even in control. What was happening was pre-programmed, and until you realize that and you try to stop it in its tracks and redirect those thoughts, then you start to have power over them. And then side, side, stay on one side, up and down. Now if this is too much, slow it down. Punching. Otherwise, small punches, little pliés. Then if you realize that and you can learn to reflect on it afterwards, maybe at first, but eventually stop it while you're doing it and realize that you're doing it when you're in the moment, that's when you start to go, okay, I see this and I don't need to behave like this. I actually don't need to behave like this anymore. Maybe in childhood this coping mechanism served me, but right now I don't need to do that anymore. And then you start to just reframe it, learn to calm yourself down in the moment. Maybe that means taking yourself out of the situation. And then slowly, very slowly, you get to the point where you can stop yourself before you do it. And that's when you feel, let's go other side, this great sense of empowerment to be able to control your circumstances and not allow situations to take you on a wild roller coaster ride of emotions. And compassion is definitely an emotion that we need to use more often. It wells up in us anyway, right? When a friend calls and they've been through something, when we see a social media post about someone in need or an animal that's been mistreated, compassion tends to well up in us naturally. But we have learned in this society to kind of become very insular and not to kind of vocalize when we feel compassion. We just kind of keep things in a lot of the time. So maybe the first step would be just kindness. Whenever you have the opportunity, just a little bit of kindness. Let's go front, in. A little bit of kindness, a smile to the stressed out checkout chick. We call them checkout chicks in Australia at the supermarket. When someone gives you really good service, thank them and actually say, you did such a good job today. Just little tiny things you can do to brighten someone else's day. And to you, they're nothing, but to them, it might really be the difference between having a terrible day and a great day, and it doesn't cost you anything. And the other component of compassion is not just having compassion for others, but also having compassion for yourself. Because unfortunately, we can find it easy to be commiserate with our friend or our partner or our child, but we're sometimes so harsh on ourselves. And the thing is that often compassion for ourselves sets the tone for how we treat others. Let's go side to side again. Let's go punch up and down. We're nearly done, so I want to really get some extra steps in towards the end of this. So it can actually be that by being more compassionate with others, you can stop and kind of think, why don't I treat myself like that? Or the other way around. Be more compassionate with yourself. Don't be so critical of yourself. Don't judge yourself so harshly when you do things wrong, because you're only human. And perhaps that can set you up to then treating others with more compassion. But in general, just find ways of choosing elevated emotions. Choosing joy, choosing love, choosing to connect, Okay, we're gonna go heel pumps and really fast biceps. It's almost like a jog. If you want to jog it, you can, but I'm just raising my heels and I'm doing fast biceps. This is the last round, so I need everything from you. Now, if you want to do just normal punches in front, you can, instead of biceps. So yeah, just choosing joy every day, choosing an elevated emotion every day, trying to redirect when something negative happens. All of those things will help you to be naturally in a more positive vibe, which will make you happier and will also affect people around you, because your electromagnetic field can be measured. And the electromagnetic field your heart sends out is up to 6 feet wide. So everything in your electromagnetic field will be affected by your energy. Okay, we're done. Just step side to side. So I just want to leave you with the thought that if you're in a positive vibe and people around you are affected by that, then your life in general will be happier. Because when people feel positive energy, they become more positive towards you. So if you want a happier life, focus on you being positive for yourself, not for anyone else, because you want to feel good, and then watch how everything around you starts changing, how people around you start changing and becoming more positive, how opportunities open up to you that are more positive. And it's all because you, with your empowerment, have chosen to not focus on the negative, but to focus on the positive. And compassion's a really good one. Start today. Next time you walk out of the house, smile at someone, greet someone, ask someone genuinely how you're going. Ring a friend that you haven't rung for a long time. Rather than spend kind of time focusing on things that are very insular, very self-focused, try to think about how you can brighten someone else's day. And that will make you feel so much better. It will put you in a peaceful, relaxed state and back into your parasympathetic nervous system, and it will also elevate the other person. And that's it. Thank you for walking with me. I hope you got something out of it, and I will come back again very soon with another walk and talk. Bye for now.